Hi there, and welcome to the show. What's weird is that I heard no music when things were going through, so if someone in the chat can let me know if you can hear me, that would be nice, because I'm not hearing anything on my end. So let's see. That's coming through.
Hi, my
Okay, that seems to come through. But why didn't the music come through? I don't know. And I guess I really shouldn't care too much, but that's okay. All right, so here we are. It's weird. It feels excessively quiet in my head, and normally there's a million things swirling around, and I can hear everything. Can Yeah, I don't care. You know what? It's a Thursday night. We're off for a few days. We get to celebrate the materialism that has overrun this country for the last 50 years. Let's get to it. Woo! All right. Uh, Welcome to the Paul Report. I am your host. Oh, I am your host. Let me see here. Hold on. I just got to get back to the top of my list here. I am your host, Paul. That's me. Right there. See, I got the right side. Everything's reversed on me, so I got to use this hand. All right, let's just get that out of there. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I'm not sure how many folks are here at the moment, but I want to thank you all for coming by. I will get to the chat in just a few moments. I do encourage chatting amongst yourselves and talking about the stuff that I'm talking about, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. We're all here to kind of just listen and react and interact. And I encourage the chatting. I encourage you to be kind, be considerate, be honest, be open. No one should be vilifying you for your opinion or your thought. If you have something that you disagree with me or anyone else on, and you have facts to back it up, by all means, throw it in there. If you have a link or something, share with us, because if anyone asks, I will show any link to anything that I have um, talked about on this show. I may not have it readily available for you right now, but I will get it for you. I should keep a list of most of it, but sometimes I put the show together in 30 minutes before I'm actually talking to you. So this show is one of those shows, but I do have all my links somewhere, and I would show you if asked. I'm not here to hide anything. I am all about fact-based reporting. So be kind and considerate. Um, so no health update this week. I think I'll probably do one. Maybe we'll end the year with one. We'll do one next week. My New Year's Eve show. That is hopefully going to shape up to be something of a thing, and I'm hoping that I will be able to um, spread a little cheer. And I don't think I want to get drunk. I don't think I can do that. I could have one glass of wine or one drink and I'll be on my ass. So I don't think it's a show where I should drink to get drunk. I just think maybe we'll just have maybe we'll have a toast, like a pre New Year's Eve toast. Um, so yeah, so that's what we'll do. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go to the chat and just say hi to folks. My beautiful wife Jennifer is here. Hello, Jennifer, and thank you for hearing me. Andre is here and he can hear me, and Stan is here. Stan, thank you very much for showing up. How are the floaters? You know what? I will talk about that for a minute, only because I had a revelation today. Not maybe not a revelation, more of a something I noticed, and I didn't realize it before. But the floaters are still there, and what I've noticed is that I guess my brain is taking over, because I'm not noticing them as much until I actually start to think about it, and I go, "Oh, floaters." And all of a sudden they start showing in my eye. So, I think I'm never going to be rid of them. I have another appointment coming up in January where they're going to stick more stuff in my eye, but I think I'll never be rid of them, and I'm just counting on whatever brain power have in here to kind of do the compensation for me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Andre, if I had a drinking partner, maybe I would. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's been so long since I've had really anything to drink. I can't even remember when I had a drink last. I have not had a drink for the whole of 2021, or the whole that was 2021. I don't remember having a drink in 2020. I don't remember a time when I drank alcohol, that is. So I don't know. I mean, I want to talk up a storm and say, yeah, I want to get a little drunk and I want to be a little tipsy. Now would be great. But on the flip side, I'm like, I got some new plumbing in here, baby. I don't know how it'll work. No, maybe I will just have a toast. Maybe I'll have a toast at the end of the show, and I'll invite people. I do have the ability to invite 4 people on the air with me at the same time. Yeah, it's true. It's not a lot of good for diabetics to be drinking, but you can have one. So. But maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll put on an invitation and invite people to come on air with me and maybe share thoughts about the year and maybe, what's the word? New Year's resolutions. And we'll see. Stan, that was 2014. We had a glass of wine at Paul's house. Just putting it into frame, that was 7 years ago. So I think I've had a drink since then, but certainly not in the last couple of years. But and that was really good wine. That's the first time I ever had Moscato. I still remember the kind of wine we had that night. I'm gonna again veer off course here because things just keep coming at me. I can't tell you how important that night was to me that we sat over Paul's house with him, his wife Linda, your wife Teresa, myself, and you. I was in a bad space that particular day, and it was over some insignificant woman at this point. But I was in such a bad way back then, and I hung out with you guys. When I left there, I felt like a human being again. And I don't think I properly thanked you guys for that. And I just had such a good time just talking with you guys. And I haven't, seen you in years. I hadn't seen Paul in a little while. I run into Paul every once in a while here and there. But, I remember we were younger and we used to be pretty good friends. So it was nice getting together with you guys. And it feels weird to say it was 7 years ago. Or maybe, it was about 7 years ago, right? 7 years ago this past fall. So I thank you, and that meant a lot to me, and I'm sorry it took me 7 years to tell you that. So we'll see what next week brings, but I'm definitely going to do a show. I'm going to try. Listen to me. I have the worst protocols for doing show prep for this show. During the week, I check out the news and I look at stuff and I text myself stuff. But it comes show day, I'm scrambling around like a crazy person. Now, today, I was exhausted after work. I didn't sleep. I slept okay last night, but I fell asleep after work today, and I slept for almost like an hour and a half, and then I had dinner. My stepson is visiting for the holiday, and I, wanted to have dinner and kind of chat it up with my wife and him. And so I didn't get down here as soon as I could have, but I made a judgment call, and I made the right call to have dinner and hang out. So, but this show is what it is, and I did have stuff that I did send to myself. So part of the show is going to be sort of a small continuation of last week when I talked about, when we talked to Dr. Schlickman about COVID and the vaccine and how it works and his experience with having COVID. And this week I found a story that made me laugh at the lengths that people will go for avoiding to getting the vaccine. So as you know, there are countries besides our own that have vaccine mandates for certain professions. In Italy, they have vaccination protocol for people who work in healthcare that they have to get the vaccine. It's a choice. You can choose not to get it, but then you can choose not to have your job. I'm not saying it's the best system in the world, and I think faced with the choice of having to do, something that you're very much against, or keeping your job, yeah, that's a tough call. I have to admit, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, it's the easiest choice you can make, you know. But this guy went to an amazing length to not get the shot. So an Italian man turned up at a vaccination center wearing a fake silicone arm. And his hopes were to fool the nurse into giving him a jab. That's what they call it over in England. Over in Europe, they call it a jab, in order to obtain a COVID-19 health certificate. The man was in his late 50s, and he had been reported to the police because of this. Witnesses said that the silicone on the prosthetic arm looked very similar to real skin. And one of the investigators on the case said that the color and touch raised suspicion of the healthcare worker, who asked him to show the whole arm. And he further said that the incident would border on the ridiculous if it were it not for the fact that we are talking about an extremely serious act. The Answer News Agency reported that the man, who has not been named, worked in the healthcare sector and had been suspended from his job because he refused to be vaccinated against COVID-19. The jab is mandatory for all healthcare workers. So people are going to lengths not to get the vaccine. And I don't know. Again, the story made me laugh more than it shocked me, or more than it, there are people who are just, flat out refusing. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. Who are flat out refusing to get the vaccine, or flat out, just spreading misinformation about the vaccine. And I don't know. I can honestly say that I can respect people for not getting the vaccine, for whatever their reasons are. What I can't respect is people spreading misinformation about the vaccine. Now, from all the reading that I did in the last couple days due to my next story, I do believe that people have died as a result of getting the vaccine. How many people have died? Well, that is the question that people tend to produce some wildly inaccurate numbers. Now, I've read certain stories from people that there were 900,000 deaths from vaccine. Now, there's only been 800 and I think somewhere in the 800,000s of people who died from COVID. So to say that more people died from the vaccine is sort of misleading. We'll just say that. And I don't know. Again, I have no problem if you don't want to get vaccinated. That's your choice. I get it. Just people have to stop spreading misinformation. You have hard, cold facts about people who died from it? Great. Share that, and share the history of it if you can. Present facts and leave the rest, to just sit on whatever site or whatever source it has and let it be false, because what's the benefit of false information? Okay, there are people who are susceptible to listening to everything that solidifies their viewpoint, no matter how wrong or how inaccurate it is. There might be a hint of truth in there, but the whole may not be all what it's cracked up to be. So, where I live, the city... I'm sorry, I have to take this drink. The city where I live announced on Facebook they were offering a vaccine clinic. There were no demands, no people going to show up at your house to drag you to this clinic. It was just an announcement. And the first post on this website, on the Facebook post, was this: "You mean kill shot clinics?" That was the first post that showed up. And again, admit that I found stories of people dying after they got the shot. But is it a kill shot? No, it's not a kill shot. It's a small percentage of people who receive the vaccine have a reaction to it. Some people get sick. A few people have died. A select number of people have died. Okay. Now, this person who wrote this, her name happens to be Jennifer. I'm not going to give out any last names. But this woman proceeded to just continue to push false narratives on the death toll of people who have been vaccinated. And when asked about providing links to what she said she found on the CDC site and the FDA site, she provided no links. But she did come back and say, "Oh, I found it again, so I don't know why you couldn't find it." And another person, actually turns out it was a friend of mine, she started up with, well, I can't find it, and, I'm searching all the things you're telling me to search, and I can't find it. So she ends up posting a link to a study that was done and all the things about vaccines in that study. Now, the study was done back in 2009. The study is 11 years old. 2010, sorry, it was 11 years old. It was done in 2010. So she's quoting a study from 11 years ago to talk about vaccines. Doesn't talk about this vaccine, just talks about vaccines in general. So, again, it's, maybe it's just me. I know it's not me, but I feel it's just me that I can't stomach when someone puts inaccurate information into something. Like, they posted something on the post I had for last week's show. This person found my site, and a lot of my stuff is public when it comes to the show, so people can comment on it who may not be friends of mine. And she posted one of the links in my post for one of the shows last week, and I immediately deleted it. And I explained in the post that I will not be a party to posting something that is inaccurate. And the thing she posted was from a website that, when I checked up on MediaBiasFactCheck.com, this site, which I won't name, screw it, I'll name it so you can check it on yourself. It was Rumble.com. This site was so far over on the right that there's an arrow on the end. It was at like the tip of the arrow. Maybe it was in the center of the arrow, but it was so far over to the right. And their factual reporting was listed as low. So, again, I'm not going to perpetuate someone posting something on my site that is inaccurate, because I don't want it to be attributed like I agree with it. So I deleted it and explained why I deleted it. And I really haven't gone back to check and see if she reposted it. I'll just have to delete it again. But I will not allow something like that, and nor should anyone allow something that they feel isn't true to be posted on the site. I don't care what you believe, in the sense of, all I'm saying is that there is a line that I draw about posting inaccurate stuff. And are you saying that the vaccine is made from Trump's brain fluids? That's interesting. Can you provide any documentation that Trump has a brain? I'm sorry. I apologize. That was just my comedic timing, just working overtime. I'm sorry. So, further in this chat, and again, if you want to witness this, you can go to the City of Malden official website, look for their post on the vaccine clinic. You may have to join the site, but look for the post on the vaccine clinic and just read through it. Just read through it. But one of the things that this person pulled out, which is pretty wild stuff, was they posted some obituaries. And this was presented as solid evidential proof that the person in this obituary died solely because they were vaccinated. Now, I'm not saying they didn't die because they were vaccinated. I'm merely stating that an obituary is not medical fact. So I'm going to go through, and I have a link that I can post. Let me get the link out. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is a very long link, so please forgive me. Let's do this. And then let's do this. And let's do comment. Okay. So here's the link that I'm referencing that I am going through. Now, I am bringing up some highlights of this. So I'm not putting everything that's in there, but I'm just saying that this is part of the obituary. Jessica Berg Wilson, 37, of Seattle, Washington, passed away unexpectedly September 7, 2021 from COVID-19 vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's abbreviated VITT, surrounded by her loving family. Jessica was an exceptionally healthy and vibrant 34-year-old young mother with no underlying health conditions. After college, she had a professional career in human resource management and devoted her free time to numerous volunteer causes. It further goes on to say that Jessica fully embraced motherhood, sharing her passion for life with her daughters. Jessica's motherly commitment was intense, with unwavering determination to nurture her children to be confident, humble, responsible, and have concern and compassion for others with high morals built on faith. I'll take that to task for a second. To have concern and compassion for others with high morals on faith. So does she mean that they can only be humble and confident and responsible and have concern and compassion for other people who have high morals built on faith, or have those compassion built on morals built on high morals built on faith? Maybe you guys can clear that up for me, but maybe I misread that wrong. It further goes on to say that Jessica's greatest passion was to be the best mother possible for Bridget and Clara. Nothing would stand in the way to be present in their lives. Further, during the last weeks of her life, however, the world turned dark with heavy-handed vaccine mandates. This is an obituary, by the way. Local and state governments were determined to strip away her right to consult her wisdom and enjoy her freedom. She had been vehemently opposed to taking the vaccine, knowing she was in good health and of a young age and thus not at risk for serious illness. In her mind, the known and unknown risk of the unproven vaccine were more than a threat. Again, this is still the obituary. But slowly, day by day, her freedom to choose was stripped away. Her passion to be actively involved in her children's education, which included being a room mom, was, once again, blocked by government mandate. Ultimately, those who closed doors and separated mothers from the children prevailed. This is an obituary. It cost Jessica her life. It cost her children the loving embrace of their caring mother, and it cost her husband the sacred love of his devoted wife. It cost God's kingdom on earth a very special soul who was just making her love felt in the hearts of so many. Still an obituary. Along with being a superb mother, Jessica was a devoted and supportive wife and created a beautiful, serene home for her family. Jessica and Tom are a remarkable team who prioritize family values and morals and their Catholic faith. She was best known for her grace, wisdom, wit, sense of humor, conscientiousness, her tireless work ethic, her pride in her family, and loving nature. Throughout her life, she loved to travel and made many trips to Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America, the Oregon coast, and the Black Butte Ranch, maybe? Yet she always valued who she was with more than where she was. In personality, Jessica was elegant and composed. Sorry, I was getting a little verklempt. Drama and attitude was not her way. She was a rock and guidepost, armed with natural problem-solving skills and intuitiveness for those who were fortunate to have her in their lives. During the inevitable crises in her life and those she knew she would say, she would say, let's figure it out, thereby giving confidence and direction in uncertain times. Loyal and protective, she was the best of all confidants, while offering the lightness of her intrinsic humor. With her altruistic regard for others, she had a special concern for the welfare of mothers and children in need. Now, I feel for her husband and children who mourn her loss. Okay, 37 is way too young to be dying. Okay, and I did a little digging around and found that there was an opinion piece written regarding this very obituary in the paper and the website for the paper that published this. In that piece, I was informed, much to my thought process already, that newspapers, many newspapers, and probably more as time goes on because print is dying, consider obituaries as a paid announcements, which leave the families to write the notices. They decide what to include, choose the photos, determine the length, and the like. So many newspapers, again, have taken this approach over the past decade or so. Notices are placed by the family or the funeral homes. The key is that they're not fact-checked or researched because it wouldn't be a valuable use of time by people on the staff at the newspaper. So this grieving family, and I have no doubt that they're probably still grieving, used the obituary to not only elevate this woman to sainthood, I mean, they made her out to be like a Stepford wife, be honest with you. You know, I mean, they made her to be out to be the perfect person. Like, the perfect person. And I know an obituary is not a place for, you know, the downside of people's lives. And I'm sure that someone wrote an obituary for Hitler that said that he liked to take long walks on the beach with Ava and he had a pet. Doesn't take away the fact that he was an asshole. You know, so I just... Again, it's troublesome that the family would take the time to spread unsubstantiated information and use the obituary to spread an anti-vax message. And again, death from any vaccine is rare, but it happens. Does it suck? Yes. But is it new? No. I saw something today where it stated that polio and smallpox never reached herd immunity. They were eradicated by vaccines. Plain and simple. So I'm not sure why this day and age that there's so much I don't know what the word is. I should know what the word is. I talk live on the air once a week. I should know more words in my vocabulary. Why people are so combative over the vaccine this time around? I mean, it just, I don't know. I probably need to research more on that, but oy. All right. Tell you what, let's move forward and get to the what are they words? Yeah, no. I'm just kidding. Let's get to the GFY word for this week. All right, welcome back to the GFY, the weekly award I give away to people who either said something stupid or did something stupid in the last, I don't know, we'll say several weeks, because sometimes the stories I find are a few weeks old. So we'll say people have done something stupid at some point in their lives. This week, we're heading down to familiar territory for one of my listeners. We're heading down to North Carolina, where a police chief was suspended without pay and placed on probation after telling officers where they could go to get a fake COVID-19 vaccination card without getting a shot. TJ Smith is the chief of police in Oakboro, North Carolina. Stan, I'm not sure where that is to you, but Oakboro. He was placed on unpaid leave for 2 weeks after a private investigation team revealed the scheme. Now, Smith was reprimanded, he told, from telling officers about the clinic. Now, he was reprimanded, he told I don't know why I typed that in. Smith was accused of violating policies including fraud, willful acts that endanger the property and others, and serving a conflicting interest. The 5-year police chief issued an email response for his actions to the Stanley News. Stan, is this something you want to tell me? The Stanley News and Press. In the email, he stated he was passing information along he received from a friend. Don't give me that. He's just a friend. You. Sorry. You got what I need. Sorry. Quote, after I got off the phone with that friend, I called 2 other offices that were not in my department and passed on information about what was described as a self-vaccination clinic. It's right next door to the self-vasectomy clinic. I got 1 phone call, hung up, and made 2 others. I didn't sit back and digest the information, ruminate on it, or otherwise give it much thought. I just passed it on. Smith ended his statement by admitting that he shared misinformation and he wanted to speak up sooner, but with everything going on, it was best that I wait for the investigation process to conclude. Yes, there's no E in that. I did see that there was no E in Stanley. It's Stanley. Now, I've read reports that there's been widespread hesitation among law enforcement agencies towards receiving the COVID-19 vaccine as highly contagious Omicron variant continues to spread throughout the U.S. Since the start of the pandemic, over 460 members of law enforcement have died from COVID-19, as reported by the New York Times. In addition, COVID-19 was the leading cause for officers in 2020. Despite this, police unions across the country have fought vaccine mandates for their forces. Again, I understand. But as far as TJ Smith goes, who willfully spread misinformation, I have to present this award to you, TJ Smith. Next time you get some misinformation, how about thinking about it and ruminate on it for a little bit before you spread it around? And yeah, why don't you do that? So, TJ Smith, this is for you.
Go yourself.
I really need to find a better award thing for that, like something a little more musical, something a little bit more, something. So, all right. Well, that's the GFY for this week. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the meat of this show, which is kind of like an air sandwich. What do I mean? We'll talk about it when we get back. You are watching The Paul Report. I'm your host, Paul Kravitz. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Do you have a nominee for Go F Yourself? Email thepaulreport@gmail.com. The Paul Report will return in just a moment. God help us all.
Hello, my name is Andrew and you are watching The Paul Report. Having known Paul for some time, I only this to say, he is a real piece of work. See, I am a computer-generated AI, so I have to say anything he types in. Darmok and Jalad. At Tanagra. Darmok and Jalad on the ocean. With his arms wide open. Paul, you are such an asshole. The Paul Report will return in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Janice, and you're listening to The Paul Report. Good choice.
You're listening to the Paul Report, and that's on you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kravitz. You are listening to the Paul Report. Good luck. Hope you have a good day.
Hi, this is Paul, and you're listening to the Paul Report. You know, it's kind of sad when you have to do your own promos.
Yeah, it is pretty bad when you have to do your own promos. I am just preparing something. I'm not coming back on screen yet. I know I'm not there. But I am trying to prepare something, and hopefully it'll work for me today. So let me come back. Where am I coming back to? I'm coming back to... let's see. Here I am! All right. So we are going to have a game of Hangman in just a minute because I haven't done that in a while. And I kind of have it set up. But here I am. But I did want to take a quick moment. I wanted to put this on record. Hey, Bob Kravitz to say, how you doing, BK? Duddy K. My birthday was this past Monday. And I turned a big 5-5. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is that one of my friends at work, Brad, gave me a belated birthday greeting. And he said, you must be, what, in your mid-40s? I went, I love you, man. So he says that I'm young in spirit. And I say it's because I have 2 kids. And it compensates because my body truly thinks it's like, 75. So kind of made a little thing there. So I do feel young. I don't feel like mentally I'm 55 years old. Contrary to what my brother thinks, I've never colored my hair. I think I'm seeing more grays now, unless that's just the green screen kind of making it happen. But I had probably I had a massive showing on Facebook this week of people wishing me a happy birthday. And for me, it's not that I thrive on the amount of people that say happy birthday to me. I think it's awesome that people reach out, even people that I've never met before but were friends through some sort of connection, wish you a happy birthday. Some people do it. They see it on their list in the morning and they say happy birthday. But just the sheer number of people who did this year just reminds me that, as much as Facebook sucks, I do use it to broadcast this show. And I do use YouTube, and at some point I'm going to make a move to YouTube solely. But for right now, I'm sticking with this until whatever. But I really, really feel like when things like this happen, these like birthdays and people wish you a happy birthday, it reminds me that, one, I'm not alone. And I mean, I know I'm not alone every day. I got a loving family. I got great kids, great wife. I have good friends. I have all of you, excuse me. But there were years in my life, scattered throughout my entire life, where I would spend my birthday alone. I would spend a New Year's Eve alone. I spent a lot of time alone many times, many years. And, this was before Facebook, and even with Facebook, I spent some time alone at certain points that are generally spent with other people. So, it's, for me, it just reminds me that, people are still, inherently good. And Facebook, for all its downsides, does seem to bring a tiny bit of humanity into my world, at least, once or twice a year. So I know that my brother made a post for me, and a lot of people responded to that. There were people who started posting day or two after my birthday that I still have to go thank. But I'm just saying, for me, and maybe you feel the same. If you do, post it in the chat. Say you agree with me, say you disagree. Tell me that You don't give a crap if people say happy birthday on Facebook. It means nothing to you. I'd say, grow that heart a little bit, will you? Just a couple sizes bigger. No, but it's a nice showing, and it's nice that people will, and it does give me a chance to connect with people that I don't normally connect with. And frickin' pandemic is just another roadblock in my wanting to like reconnect with people on a personal level, on an in-person level, I should say. It's like, people I haven't seen, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll get together, and then the pandemic hit. It's like, freaking can't do it, And I tend to be overly cautious. I tend to be more cautious than not, because of my health issues and my autoimmune bullshit and all that. So, be that as it may, thank you for all the birthday greetings and well wishes and all that stuff, and I just think it's awesome. So, let's get to a game of Hangman. So bear with me while I get this set up. Let's see if I can remember how to do this now. All right, so we got to turn this on, and then we got to turn, let's see, this on. Ho-ho! Look at that first try! Woohoo! All right. So the lines got a little bit oh wait, I'm supposed to show myself in here, aren't I? Where is me? Let's see. Womp womp. Where am I? I'm not in here. All right. Well, you're going to have to do it without my face. Normally my face is in the corner, but I'm not there. So let's go through. This is a thing. It is a thing. And we can start off with anyone who wants to put out a letter. So let's go. Start guessing some letters. It is a thing. A thing we use a lot. A T. There are no T's. I got to make that thinner. That's too thick. All right. Let's make a head. There we go. All right. A. We do have an A. Oh, you really can't see that. Let's see. Maybe I'll make that white. There we go. All right. We have a G from Stanley. There is a G. All right. So T, A, and G. Tag, you're it. Okay. Let me go a little thicker on that. All right. What else we got? That's an A. Okay. Next letter, please. Everyone's trying to guess it. Just throw out letters, man. R. There is an R. Is there a C? There is no C. Oh, wait a minute. Gonna make that a little shorter. I don't want his feet to hit the ground because, All right. Oh, Andre Provencher for the win. It is a paper bag. Nice job, my friend. That's not even an E. Okay, paper bag. All righty. Nice job, Andre. Woohoo! All right, let's see if I can get out of this segment without killing myself. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. My head's not there. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Is that my head? Not my head. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to this. And then we go back to, let's see, this. No. Getting out of this is not going to be easy. Let's see. Act 3. Nope, that's not what I want to show you. Okay, getting out of this might be a little tricky. It's tricky. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Hey, there I am. Hi. Hello. All right, let's see. How about if we do that? Ha ha! I made it back. Ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. I know I was in hangman prison. I couldn't get out. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I enjoy that game. But I'm trying to think of other games that we can play that utilize that type of thing. Any thoughts? Put them in the chat. One thing I didn't do is I didn't do my my normal what do you call it? Housekeeping. So let me do that now. Do you want to be a guest on my show? Do you have a guest that you can suggest to me? Do you have a nomination for GFY? You got a comment? Email me, thepaulreport@gmail.com or the Paul Report right here on Facebook. Excuse me. Next slide, please. Where can you watch the Paul Report? Thursday nights live right here at 9 p.m. Anytime on Apple Podcasts. If you want updates, subscribe to the Paul Report on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and Twitter. Alrighty, let's get back to the show. All right, there we go. So a little programming note. Starting in January for about 8 weeks, I will be masking up and heading out into the world to help out on my good friend Nestor Dudley's live show at UMA, which used to be Malden Access Television, for his weekly show for the Malden Neighborhood Basketball League. I have been directing that show since 2016, and I am going to continue to direct for as long as I'm alive. Just saying. So he called me that we did no shows last year because of COVID. And our show the previous year, actually, I'm sorry. This year, 2021, we didn't have any shows. Last year, we cut short because the show runs through the end of March, and we couldn't get the last couple shows out because of the shutdown. So this year, we're going to pick it up with a skeleton crew, probably just me and one other person. The studios are kept clean. I'm going to double mask. I'm going to do all that stuff, but I am going to start directing that show. So that show runs from 6 to 6:30, and some nights it runs from 6:30 to 7. So it shouldn't truly interfere with this show on Thursday nights, but just know that I will be doing that for between January and March. So that should be some fun, and maybe, I don't know, it's cross promotion or something. Who knows? What is that little line going across there? Is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, that's this. I'm like, what is that crazy thing right there? That's my mic arm. All right. All right, so what is this show about? Well, it's really about Christmas. It's Christmas time. And there's no need to be afraid, because at Christmas time, we let in light and banish hate. In a world of plenty, we can spread a smile of joy all around the world at Christmas time. Sorry. You know, it's not Christmas for me until I hear that song, and I have not heard that song once this season. to be fair, I haven't been listening to a lot of radio. So there's that. But yeah, it's Christmas, man, and it's, it's a time of year where people tend to be a little nicer to each other. And also people a little bit more cutthroat because you got the last Action Jackson doll. And they wanted it because that's the hot toy this year. I'm at odds with Christmas. I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas. My family was, Jewish, going back, both parents Jewish, going back for many, 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 many years. So, growing up with Christmas was more of like, we would take old socks and put them on the fireplace because we had a fireplace growing up. It was awesome. But we would take like old athletic socks and put them on the fireplace. And my dad would throw like 50 cents in there. That was like the extent of our Christmas, But it just seemed that as I got older, I began to see more of the materialism of it, the materialistic nature of it. And I started saying, you know what? I can't sign on to this, but what I do want to use this time as is to celebrate people, celebrate the people that I know, the people that I love, the people that I hang out with, spend time with people. Christmas to me is not about, the birth of Jesus. It's not about that for me. It's just, how I was raised. It is about being with people, and I try to be kinder to people. I try to be, I try to be better, so it'll carry on to the next year. I try to get better each year. Apparently, I'm being hacked by someone, so that's all right. We'll get that comment out of there. And let's see. We do not need that. Oh, that's coming in from YouTube. Okay. We'll get rid of that. So ever since I was, old enough to be able to celebrate with people and stuff, I've really enjoyed this time of year. Growing up, I got the combo gift for Hanukkah and my birthday. My son's birthday is this season, and I refuse to give him combo gifts. And, I've succeeded so far. And I think that going forward, for me, this season is going to kind of morph again or add to what I look at as time to spend with family. And I think I want to start doing a little giving back somehow, some way. And I don't know how just yet to give back. I would, my wife and I have always talked about going to a hospital and holding crack babies and holding sick babies and stuff like that. And I have this baby thing. I just love babies. And, when my kids were younger, I just could not get enough of them, holding them and just kind of just letting them fall asleep in my arms and stuff like that. I could not get enough of that. Just getting that baby smell and then putting them down and letting their mother change them. No, I'm just kidding. I changed my share of diapers. But yeah, so there was the thought of that, but then again, the pandemic hit and kind of throw all plans away. But I want to find a way to give back, volunteer some way, shape, how. Just do something more with however many years I have left on this earth. I want to do something more. And we'll see. And I also want to pick up some new hobbies. Again, I want to dive into photography. Andre, we work together, and we've been talking lately about, filming and doing projects like that. And I can't be more excited to do that. Because I love the process of being creative with other people. I could be creative on my own, but I think being creative in a team just lends itself to a much I don't know, much better experience for me at least. I don't know how other people feel, but I know I like collaborating with other people, and I like, I like when my ideas are used, but I also like looking or hearing someone else's idea, going, "God damn it, I should have thought of that," you know. So that's how you know something is good, when you wished you thought of it. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that at some point in the future. I also feel like, um, it just, with the world the way it is, I'm not living in fear of the pandemic. I'm not living in fear of COVID and the variants and stuff like that. And I think it's just something we're going to have to deal with for for years to come. That's all I think. And I think that, if I got to wear a mask to go into a supermarket for 15 minutes, I'll wear a mask to go into a supermarket for 15 minutes. When I come out, I take it off, I get in my car, and I go. It's not the end of the world for me. And I know people find it to be the end of the world that they have to wear a mask. And, I can't make a compelling argument for anyone to change their mind who doesn't want to. So in the new year, I'm just going to continue my trend of, just taking care of me, taking care of my family, doing the best I can to be a good human being, you know, stay safe, stay healthy. I got a clean bill of health, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. And, I'm on a good regimen of medication right now that is keeping me relatively pain-free, keeping my blood sugars down, keeping my feet from hurting more. So I'm thankful for this time of year that I can be here. And that's all good. And I just wish everyone what they can find good in this year, find it and use it. And whatever you can find to move you forward into the next year, do it. If you haven't been taking time for yourself, take some time for yourself. If you've been waiting hand and foot on people but not taking care of your own needs, gotta take care of your own needs, man. You gotta do it, because if you don't, how good are you gonna be to other people when you're run down and completely out of steam? Can't do it. You just can't. You gotta take care of yourself. And that I learned late in life, because I just lived life like I wasn't gonna die. And then, not that I died, but I got hit with something that could have been worse. And I was very lucky that, my cancer was found very quickly in a very inconvenient spot, but a convenient stage where I didn't even have an oncologist. I'm thankful for that. I think that we need to do better for ourselves if we haven't been. And if we have been doing well for ourselves, then do well for others. Take care of your family, take care of your friends, let your friends take care of you. Not everyone can be on every moment of every day. So if you need help, ask for it. If you know someone who needs help, ask them if they need help. If they ignore you, or if they tell you to get away, if you believed in the power of prayer, say a prayer for them. If you want to secretly help them somehow, some way, do something. Just don't stand by. My son had a very difficult fall with things at school, but he's come through it like a champ. I give thanks for his resolve. He's an amazing kid. My daughter is, she's healthy, she's happy, she's got friends, she's getting a little bit of a social life going now. She's enjoying herself, and that's what I want to see, and that makes me happy. So it adds to my happiness. So what's the purpose of all this? I don't know. I just think maybe get some thoughts of your own together and think about what you want this season to mean to you, and then carry that over for the other 11 months of the year. Because that's what I've been trying to do, is just carry it over for as much as I can. This past year was difficult for me. And that I'll go into more, for next year's year in review show. But this was a difficult year for me. And if it wasn't for the strength of my family, my wife, my kids, my stepkids, be quite honest with you, my ex-wife too, my sister, my brother, my mother, people who were there along the way to, drop a phone call in. I might have been a bitch on the phone, but they still called me and they called back. I was very, very tired and just kind of uncomfortable for 3 months. But, I'm thankful for all that, and I'm going to try to pay that forward somehow, some way. So, I don't know. I just think that Christmas is a time for the individual to think what it means to them. And, it's used to be a time to get Chinese food on Christmas Eve because that's what Jews did. Chinese food, Christmas Eve, go bowling, maybe see a movie. We rule the town on Christmas Eve. It's Christmas time for Jews. Okay. Anyway, I'm speaking. It's already 10:03, so I'm going to bid you all a fond farewell until next week. A Merry Christmas, and I'll wish you a Happy New Year next week. I'm not afraid of saying Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Bill LaCapria, what up, man? You're It's 10:04 and now you're saying something? Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming in. I am really anxious to see you. I really want to see you. So everybody, enjoy your day, your Christmas Eve festivities, your Christmas Day festivities. If you're Canadian, enjoy your Boxing Day festivities. And we'll get together next week. We'll talk. Maybe we'll toast the new year a day early, 2 days early, really. And yeah, let's go out there and do better. What do you say? All right, everyone. I've been Paul Kravitz. This has been the Paul Report. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. And let me find where the end segment is. I can't find it. Anyway, be well, everybody. Woo! Okay. I would love to, Bill. I would love to. But wait, you have a new baby. Well, you have a new grandchild. I love babies. The other white meat. Yum, yum, yum. No, I'm just kidding. Those are good days, man. All right, I got to go because I would talk about that for an hour on its own. So thank you for stopping by, everybody. Anyone I might have missed, I think I got everybody. Have a good week, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
The time has come for us to ride on to our next adventure.
We're gonna have a three-way with the Declaration of Independence.